So guys, welcome back to Tech and Vibhag. This is Parikshit here back again, and I hope you have seen my previous video where I have already told you that what is our next plan and what we are going to do. So as said, like from today we are going to learn about the web application vulnerabilities, as we have already covered the Linux series and so many other stuff in the network penetration testing. And from this series we are going to do the web application vulnerabilities, and as said in the previous video, I am going to teach you today is the SQL injection. So I'm sure that you definitely heard about the SQL injection, and there are a lot of videos on the YouTube that covers SQL injection, what it is and how it works. But I'm sure that what I'm going to teach you in this video is something different. I'm going to teach you the way you will understand it much better. Alright, so this will be going to be a very beginner friendly video, as well as even if you are an advanced user, it will be helpful for you to understand the concept properly for this. Alright, so SQL injection coming into the 4 types, where it's like first will be the error based, and the next is the like union based, and these are the part of in-band SQL injection, where in inferential injection or in inferential what will come, so the time based and boolean based will come into the inferential. What is inferential? Inferential is nothing but the blind SQL injection, where we'll not know whether the SQL injection vulnerability exists in there, but we'll try to figure it out using some blind ways, let's say like a time delays kind of thing. So this part we'll be keeping into the next video, but today we'll see first 2 things, which is like error based SQL injection and union based SQL injection. Alright guys, so let's start it. So first we'll see like what is SQL injection, and as I have already told you, and definitely you must be knowing what it is actually. See, SQL stands for structured query language, and this language communicates with the database. Okay, so when we want to create something, like create something in the database, when we want to delete something from the database, or when we want to update something from the database, so what we use some SQL statements. We provide it into the interface, and then it goes to the database and it performs the activity what we have asked for. Like let's say, suppose we have asked to create a table, we'll do something like create table name. Okay, and this particular query, and then it will go to the database and it will create a table, right? So something like that it will happen, and it will, this is how like it will communicate with the database. All right, so now what is SQL injection? So this is something where like as you can see, the structured query language which is like going to the database to communicate and do some activity. So here how an attacker can take advantage of it. So here what he can do is like he can check if this language or whatever the query that is passing to the database, can he modify it? Can he ask something else to do? Like let's say if as a user I'm asking a database to fetch some details for me, right? Fetch details for a particular user, and if an attacker sees this particular query and he just modify it, or he adds something into it and asking some other required information as well. So like let's say, suppose attacker is asking for the administrator username and password. So like by modifying that particular query, and then this particular query will again go to the database and it will fetch both the result, like right, both the result or even the first result, or whatever the result the attacker is asking for, right? So this is how it will happen. And when it will happen, so if there is a vulnerability, right? And vulnerability in the sense, what will happen is like sometime a front-end application, it will allow the attacker, or it will allow the user to modify the query at the front-end application. And when it happens, it means that that is a vulnerability, and this is what attacker can take advantage of, and he can modify the query, which will later then go to the database to communicate, and it will do the task which attacker has asked for. So this is exactly we want to avoid in future, and we will talk about the remediations later, but I hope you now understand what is SQL injection. So let's learn about the type of SQL injection. So we can see here that we have like 4 types, including 2 major types, where we can see that in-band and inferential, which is blind. So in band there are again 2 types. All right, there is like error based and union based. And as I said that in this video we are going to cover error based and union based SQL injection. Alright, so we'll see what is error based. So error based SQL injection is nothing but when the query result throws the error on the front screen or the front end, right? How it happens, like if you pass something which a database doesn't understand or recognize, and he threw out the error by revealing some sensitive SQL information, right? Or the information which is like coming from the database. So this is nothing but the error based, right? And we can like take an advantage of such error, and we can ask database something else to do, right? We can also ask some tables information, or completely we can like ask for any information from the database by using this kind of vulnerabilities. Alright, so we'll see first of all how error based works. So to understand this, we have a website called testphp.vulnerweb.com, and this is the test website that we have. So let's do something over here. This is a test PHP website, and I'm just going to browse the artist, and in there I'm just going to into the artist, or let's say into this first one. Okay, so in the URL, as you can see, this is like going to the artist.php, from where it is fetching the artist equals to 1, means this is fetching us the number 1 result for us. Alright, and now in this case here the query is completed, means here one single quote and the semicolon will be there in the background, which will not visible to us, but this is what completes the query. Now what if I am giving another single quote here, alright, like this way, or let's say double quote, suppose if this language supports double quote. Alright, so what will happen is like there are 2 single quotes, and here it will confuse itself and it will throw the error, because this is not the proper valid query. When I say enter here, you can see that this is how we get an error. A database throws the error, and it also says MySQL fetch error except parameter 1 to be resourced. This is like clearly telling us that this is the warning or error from the SQL, right? And this is exactly we want. So now we understand that at this parameter, the parameter is artist. Okay, so this is 1 is the value and the parameter is artist. So at this parameter we have a vulnerability, or we can say that this particular parameter is injectable. Alright, so and in this situation, like what we can do is we can take a help from a web as well to inject several payload. You can get it in the medium.com. You can see what else you can do. So you can just type something like artist equal to 1 order by 4, and this will like then fetch you the number of columns. Alright, how many number of columns are there in particular table. Alright, also when you go further you can see what else you can do. Okay, order by, and you can also use union, which will actually join the 2 tables. Alright, you can also use this union here, and you can click on select them, or you can say like a select 1 2 3. So here you are like combining the 1 2 3 table, okay, using a union select queries. And then again you can use several other payloads like union select 1, and in the second place you are keeping the database, so it will throw you what database it is using. Alright, you can see it is using Aquart. So if you are a very beginner and if you are not very sure that what this payloads and how to use it, so because you can see that union and select 1 and version, so but definitely as a beginner you will not know what payload you need to use, right? Version and the database, and then again like brackets you have to use or not, and then again when you want to fetch other information from the table, like so what things you have to use is like group concat table name, and these payloads are like predefined and you have to use this correctly the same way what is written here. Alright, so if you are not so familiar here at this point, we have another way here, right? So for the same reason I have already opened here the Kali Linux, and I will show you what exactly we can do. So we browse to the artist, we have this particular artist equal to 1 parameter, we will simply copy it. We'll go to SQL map. All right, we'll go to SQL map. We type the URL, or we paste the URL here, and we fetch --dbs. So we'll see how many or what are the databases this particular vulnerability or website is having, what database this particular website is having, and how it will fetch the result is because we know that this particular parameter is injectable. So we are sure that now it is going to give us the databases, because we have seen through the Medium website that they have already used some payloads and on the web, and they have fetched it, right? So we are using the SQL map here. We are not going to use the particular payloads there. I can simply show you by using those payloads, but that will not be interesting, as if you're a beginner, this is the simple way that will help you understand how it works and how you can get this kind of things by using Kali Linux also. So you just press enter and you can see it's working pretty much faster, and we are getting the result. You can see here clearly that Aquat and Information Schema are the databases that are available. You can see there are 2 databases available. Now how we are going to use these databases to fetch further details. So first of all, I will just show you what we can do with SQL map, and SQL map --help will show you the different options what you can use. So when you have the database ready, you can simply use the -d and database name and then --tables to see what are the tables it is having. Similarly, -t for table, and further to that we can see for the columns it is having. So let's do that. I will just type here -d, and database I want to use is this one, and let's say I'm using this database and I will say tables. So it will fetch the tables for this Aquat database. Now you can see we have 8 tables available here: artist, cards, cat age, feature, and similarly other tables as well. So but here we can see users is the table that we are interested to, because we think that this table might have some sensitive username and password stored. So let's go ahead and let's fetch this particular tables column. Alright, so I will just copy it, and first of all I will use -t here for table users. Alright, and --columns. Let's see what column this particular table is having. So let it fetch, and we can see it is having address, card, email, name, password, and username as well. So this is good, this is interesting. We have like the complete picture over here. We are having the username and password list into this particular table. We can now simply use --dump command, and so we want to fetch table users, and I want to simply do is dump. So dump, and you can see it will dump the particular table, and it is also asking us to process the hashes available in this table or not. So for this time we'll say no, because we want to do it later. So do you want to crack them via dictionary based attack? No, for now. So done. And you can see this is the table entry. This is also saved into this particular path, okay, in the CSV format, but you can see what we have fetched. So it is like this is something CC, something like that, and next thing we can see here is the password. It should be okay, this should be the hash of the password here. The next thing is email. So here you can see John Smith. I think this is the email is here. You can see mail@gmail.com, and John Smith is the name. This is the name, and username is again here test, and address is also like given over here. So this is what we have. Like this is just because a dummy table and a test table. This is a test website, but this is how harmful it is. You can use this kind of thing to fetch this sensitive detail from other website if the vulnerability exists. All right, so let's move further. This is about your error best, and if you wanna see how you can do using a web application or web browser itself by modifying some parameter at this place, so you can do that. Like let's say union select, and you can do like union select and 1, 2, 3, and dash dash. This will actually your dash dash will actually comment out the rest of the part of the query. So when we say like enter, we see some results, right? So this is something which we expected. We got it. Why? Because it is having a vulnerability. Now similarly, you can use so many other payloads from here, or you can get a lot more other websites where actually you can get the payloads, what you can test it here, and how you can just practice it, and then you can use it to do the bug bounty and learn the penetration testing. Alright, so this is it. This is about the error based. So let's move on to union based now. So what happens in the union based is, union is the keyword, and this is the keyword from the SQL where it is used to combine the two tables, where like when we will be using it, we'll be getting the result from two different tables into the same page. Okay, so like let's say we are able to see something like you can see that at this page we are able to see that this is something like we are getting a result from artist equal to 1. As I already did it, union select and let's say something like 1 or 2 or user or password, and from users table, so it should fetch details likewise, right, from the other table as well. So this is what exactly we are going to do now, and to perform this to better understand you guys, I will take you through the example of it. And what we're going to do is we're going to do or solve one of the lab from the ports figure, which is going to be our union attack. Okay, so let's do that. I will first access this lab. So here we can see that we are into this particular home page. Click on gifts or something. Okay, let's click on gifts. You can see filter question mark category equal to gift, and here we can see that category equals to gift. It means gift is the value and category equals to, so category is the parameter, and this is where we want to take the advantage of. We want to test the union keyword or union attack here, and now we'll see something like as first of all I want to tell you how union will work. Is like table 1 query will be here, right? Like a select A comma B from table 1. So this is something you can see here, right? Where like a filter question mark, like from where question mark act as where. So here where category equals to gift, and now from here we want to ask something else. So we'll join the query here and we will use union keyword for that. So let's do union, and when we do union and we want to use something like select union select user comma password, and let's give some space here, and from users. So let's comment out so that rest of the query will be comment out. Let's do enter. Let's see what happens. Okay, gift union select user comma password from users. I think this is something where we missed. I think select user, or maybe let's type like a username here, because it might be username, and we want to see whether it works, whether the users table is existing and username and password containing in there or not. So let's see if it is there. So username and password from users. All right, we're missing something here. I think category equal to gifts, and I think first of all, to break the query here we have to give, I think this is what we are missing here, we have to give a single quote here, right? Single quote and then a single space, which will then join the query by using union keyword, and I think this should complete the query. Let's do enter. Wow, great. As we can see, winner and the password for this particular user is given over here. Again, similarly, the administrator and this password for administrator is also given, and also we can see Carlos password, and this is great. Also we got the result from for our pre-existing query, right? Category equal to gifts, and then we have a result for our next query. So this is how you can see it joined the result, it combined the result from two tables, and it provided us in a single web page, right? So we can see that, we can see the username and password. Now let's do one thing, let's just complete this lab. I think, yeah, so we probably want to we can see that we want to just find the administrator password, use attack retrieve username and password, and use the information to log in as administrator. So let's see, this is like a password for administrator. I want to say my account, and I want to log in by using administrator. Okay, and I want to paste that, and let's say login. So this is, you can see the lab is solved. The lab was already solved, guys, because I was doing it from the long time, and this is just to show you how this works. Alright, so I hope you understand how union based attack will work, right? It will join two tables, it will fetch the result from other table as well, and it will put you into the single page, and it will show you that, right? So this is what union keyword is, really important keyword, and it is really powerful when it comes to SQL. Alright, so this is about union based attack, guys. And next thing I want to show you is how you can check what is happening when you type any query or when you type any username and password into your website. So what's happening in the background? So let's understand this now from using this website. So like, let's say this is the vulnerable application, and we are trying to hack with the SQL injection attack. Alright, and here we will be seeing the logs as well. And the next thing is we want to use the user at gmail.com, and I want to use the password as password. So when I say login, you can see unknown email or password. Okay, and now you can see, okay, so guessing the password didn't work, right? Because the password was wrong. Now let's do one thing, let's add one single quote here, like how we did in our previous example, right? So at user@gmail.com, let's add a password, and we'll give another single quote. So here what will happen in the background, it will so we can see here now, let's say login first, and you can see that the application crashed, it throws the error. How it happens? So here you can see how the query was performed in the background, where email equal to this one and password equals to password. And again, as you can see, where we have already provided a single code where it was already there, and we just passed one more, and we just confused to the server or a database, and due to which it just throws the error, right? So here in the background what happens is, you can see this is what application code looks like behind the scenes. So here you can see that the user@gmail.com is where we have provided first of all, where we have simply passed our email address, and you can see here the single quote was already taken by the database because it was there. And now next thing what we have done is we have added a password, and the already pre-existing single quote was already taken, but again we have added another single quote which causes the database to throw the error. So I hope you understand how this works, right? Alright, so now let's move, and I will show you something else. So let's try with password and then single quote. Let's log in, and you can see, so here you can see the code is inserted directly into the SQL string and terminates the query early, right? So this is what caused the syntax error we saw in the log. And you can see this behavior indicates that the application might be vulnerable to SQL injection. Exactly, right? So let's try something now. Because it is vulnerable, we will try something else. So what we will do, we'll try to use some boolean values, right? We'll either enter the password, or we'll give a condition to it which is like something like which is always true, right? So let's try that. We'll give like a single quote which will complete the password value, and we are providing OR here, and then we are giving some condition like 1 equals to 1. Alright, and then we are commenting out the rest of the code. So let's do login. You can see we are logged in. You can see here clearly how it works here. So we have completed our query for password, or we have provided nothing here, but after that we started a new query or a condition where we have given like the condition is always true, 1 equals to 1, and we have given the double dash, where here you can see the rest of the part of the code where like a single quote and limit 1. This part was clearly commented out, means this was not taken under consideration. This is what double dash did. And you can see here as well, the dash dash character evented caused the database to ignore the rest of the SQL statement and allowing you to authenticate it without having to enter the username and password. So now we know how SQL injection works and how the error-based and union-based attacks also work. I'm sure that you learned something extra here. You learn the way you understand it much better. So this is just about the error-based and union-based, and in the next video we will see what is the inferential, or how we will use the Boolean attacks, or how we will do the Boolean and time-based attacks on the web application. Then hit the like button and subscribe to the channel if you are new to the video. Also hit the bell icon so that next videos that are going to come, you will not miss that and you will be getting the notification for that. Alright guys, so I think I will meet you in the next video, where we'll now be covering about our next topic, which is nothing but the blind SQL injection. Alright, so thanks for watching, have a great day, and bye bye.